Welcome, wrestling fans, to the Marysville High School Gymnasium for Viking wrestling action. Our Vikings will be taking on Warren Lincoln Abes. I'm Wayne Height, and joining me tonight is Tyler Blankenship. How are we doing today, Tyler?
I'm doing good, Wayne. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, what are the key components that the Vikings need for the win tonight?
The key components tonight are not giving up bonus points. Those 5 and 6 point wins are really detrimental teams. You really need to keep it down to 3 and 4 point wins. So,
all right, now let's get ready for the first matchup. We started off at 189 with Dante Check, and
who
Lincoln
just voided.
Lincoln voided for that. So now the Vikings are ahead 6 and Lincoln with 0. We will now move on to weight class 215
with Austin Keeley. He's a freshman here, but he's done really well for us this season. They're giving him a void too.
Void for
let's see him wrestle.
Void for Lincoln. Another 6 points for the Vikings. We will be moving on to heavyweight.
Now
I notice it seems to be a very young team this year, Tyler. Very young team for the Vikings this year.
Yeah, we have a lot of freshmen starting our lineup, but I mean they've all stepped up and progressed a lot throughout the season. But it's going to help us for next year because we'll have that experience back, and they have many more years to go.
Lincoln came out with their heavyweight, and Marysville will be voiding.
All right, next we have Kyle French coming out for 103. He is a freshman. He's done well for us this season. He's placed at many tournaments, and he's pretty experienced. He's been wrestling ever since he was real little. So,
all right. Now, what are going to be some strategies that Kyle should be looking up or forward to right now?
Kyle should just look for those quick takedowns because Lincoln likes to do what they call a chin rip. Like as soon as you get in on the leg, they just rip you straight back to your back and get the fall. He just needs to look out for big moves and throws and whatnot.
All right. Now they put on the colored bands. Now red stands for Lincoln, and then green stands for the Vikings, and I believe that also interprets the point system.
Yep. Red stands for away and green for home. When the ref, he has his bands on his wrist, and every time he raises the wrist, the color wrist of whoever scores and whatnot.
All right, Kyle just got 2 points for a takedown, and which then they ran out of the circle. So now Lincoln takes bottom.
The circle is a big deal because a lot of wrestlers, they like to stay on the edge of it. That's your out of balance. So they like to stay on the edge, so when they go to attack, if nothing works out, they can just drive out of balance. But Marysville's goal is just keep everyone in and just work for more takedowns.
Kyle's doing a great job at containing him on the inside.
It's working for the return here. He's got to pop his head out so he doesn't get thrown to his back. There he goes.
I see that 103 is more of a scrambling type weight class here.
Yeah, they're all real quick, small guys. I mean, they obviously don't have that much muscle as opposed to heavyweight or 171.
Because, I mean, if you look at, like, heavyweight matches or at least heavier weight classes, you notice that they all have different styles with their ways of wrestling. Yeah,
it's a drastic change going from heavyweight to 103. Heavyweight's really slow, probably 2 or 3 point matches. And 103, they're just go, go, go. They're consistently moving. They're real quick. I mean, I think that they're the most conditioned kids on the team because they're always moving the fastest.
That and a lot of them, they all try to cut weight.
Yeah, that's true.
I think 103 is probably the one toughest weight class where all the kids are cutting the most weight to be in.
103 freshmen are usually like a true 103. Others who are like a little bit bigger are usually the sophomores and juniors. Right. And they typically have to cut pretty hard to make it. But
now, let's talk about the weight requirements, like the alpha that began at the beginning of the season.
The alpha is your weigh-in at the beginning of the season that allows you to go to a certain weight class. Say, for example, you weigh in at 140. You can't go below 140 unless your alpha, which consists of your body fat percentage, your weight, and your muscle percentage. That's all calculated together, and it calculates how far you can go down with the season at a healthy weight.
Now, I know that all changes when the New Year's comes through. They get a 2-pound allowance, I believe, correct?
Yeah, that's true. That's like, see, that's their Christmas present right there. I mean, that 2-pound allowance is a big deal to others. To people who don't wrestle, they say 2 pounds isn't a big deal, but to wrestlers,
2 pounds is everything.
Oh yeah, that's a whole lot of eating right there.
And now we're moving on into the second period of the 103 weight class with Kyle French wrestling off against Lincoln. Team score right now currently is Marysville Vikings with 12 and the Lincoln Abes with 6.
All right, Kyle chose neutral. He has to cross face right here, get Lincoln off his leg, and return back to the middle.
Now right there, what do you think Tyler could have, Kyle could have done better to perhaps maybe not get thrown out of the circle?
He could have cross-faced him and circle back in, or he could snap down to a front headlock and spin behind for 2 points. It just all depends on how you're feeling it in the match, because what you see isn't always what's going on in the match.
Yeah. I mean, you got to believe, like, everybody has different perspectives, from the coaches to the fans to the refs.
Oh, definitely.
I give everybody credit who participates in this sport.
Yeah. Okay, see, Kyle's trying to work for head position here. Head position's big deal. It helps you get takedowns and whatnot, get angles to get in on the legs.
Yeah, because right now I see it's kind of ear to ear almost.
Yeah. See, Kyle's a little outsized. That Lincoln kid, he's quite a bit taller. He has a reach advantage.
And if you heard that whistle, that was the other matches going on with Northern against Roseville, in which earlier tonight Roseville faced off with the Vikings, and Vikings won that match.
This match right here, the Warren Lincoln versus Marysville, it's a big deal. It's a conference championship.
Oh, wow.
If
really?
Lanphier loses their match tonight, I believe, and we defeat Lincoln, we'll tie for first place for the conference.
So you would imagine that would put a little bit of stress behind all the wrestlers participating tonight, right?
We've been really busting this week to get in shape and just working for different techniques. See, Kyle has to try pulling them in here to get points.
2 points go to Kyle for the takedown. And ref blows the whistle for out of the circle. And now Kyle's leading with 4 points. We have 24 seconds left on the board. And if you see, there is a fellow Viking standing behind the ref. That is the towel tapper, in which he signals the ref when the period is up.
Being a towel tapper or whatnot, whatever you call them, to people who watch it, it may not be a big deal, but to coaches, it's a really big deal, because there's many matches that come down to the last second, and if they're a split second late or early, that can judge the outcome of the match. So coaches are actually pretty stingy on that.
Okay. And then I've known there's also been problems where time hasn't gone. Marysville takes bottom.
Kyle French looking for a stand-up here. He has
now, what would Lincoln be looking for currently being on top right now?
They're looking to grab wrist and whatnot, roll him under, or to get like a half Nelson. Kyle French on bottom. He has to get his knees up more and knee slide out, get his hips out from under him. If he pops his hips out right here, he'll get escape.
All right. Ref making sure
He has to watch for that cradle. He turns in. He's get his head up and turn in.
Kyle getting.
He got reached for the fall.
And it looks like a big pretzel right
hold
here. And the ref calls it.
Illegal hold on Lincoln.
And Marysville is given an escape point. Now, Tyler, how can the ref call an escape point?
That was
like
actually
what are the qualifications for that?
that was actually a penalty point because
okay.
he scissor locked around Kyle's head.
Okay.
But escape, you have to be completely neutral, typically, and facing your opponent.
Okay.
See, Kyle needs a knee slide, get his hips right under him. If you see him trying to slide his knees up.
Lincoln right now looking pretty strong on top.
Yeah, they're a tough team. They were formerly ranked number 3 in the state this year. They had a key loss, but they're still a tough team, as you can see. So this is definitely a big match for Marysville tonight. There you go. 1 point green escape. Now that happened because he didn't get full control on top for the reversal, but he was close enough to where Lincoln lost control. So that's why he got his 1 escape.
All right. Short time on the clock yet again in the 3rd period. Kyle is currently leading the score with 6 points.
Kyle needs to get a quick 2 to get a major, or also just have a minor, which is 3 team points.
Yeah, what's the difference between a major and a minor?
A minor is when you win your match. Or actually, I'll start it like this. A major is when you win your match by 8 or more points, and that's equivalent to 14 points. A minor is when you win by less than 8 points, and that's equivalent to 3 team points.
All right, Kyle got the win for the Vikings. And with that, let's have a word with our sponsors.
The programs and community announcements presented on this station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
The Marysville American Legion Post 449, located at 299 Huron Boulevard in Marysville. Hall rentals are available for any occasion, and bingo is played every Tuesday evening. Stop by and thank a veteran today.
Welcome back, folks. We just got done with the 103 weight class. We are now starting off at 112. Current team points right now, Vikings 15 and Lincoln Abes 6.
Cody French right here. He's also a freshman. He's actually a 103 pounder, but his brother is actually wrestling 103 for us. We've been moving him up all year to 112 and 119. And he gets a quick takedown there.
Came in, guns a-blazing.
Yeah, see, them lower weight classes are quick, man. If you get them lower legs when they're off balance, it's an easy takedown.
And I noticed how he just, like right when the ref blew the whistle, he just went for it.
Yeah.
I see that last match, I saw Kyle kind of taking his time right as the ref blew. It wasn't kind of as aggressive, let's say.
Yeah. See, our team motto this year is attack. So we consistently always in the face of our opponents, pushing them, trying to break them, so they just kind of give up. That's when our conditioning comes into play, because then our opponents just start to give in and let us score. And Cody French looking for a wing here. He needs a fish for a wrist. There he goes. If he steps over just a little bit more, he'll start to get back points. He's trying to switch off to a half, and he has to circle back.
Now, I know you guys just had a big tournament last Saturday. How did that go?
We had the Gatorade Duels this weekend, which is our home tournament of the year. I mean, it was 16 teams. We ended up taking 3 and 2. The 2 losses that we had came down to the last match. They were all really close. We feel that we wrestled decent, but we did not do our best. We could always improve. So we're looking to improve to go to tonight, and we're eventually trying to take Lincoln right now.
Cody looking for the pin here.
There you go. Just reload his chest.
Short amount of time in the first period.
Ooh, a tough break
time has
for Cody.
been called. Now, what was the hand signal that the ref was giving?
The ref was signaling 3 back points. Once you start to get over 45 degrees onto your back, the ref starts counting, and he counts all the way up to 5. If he counts up to 2 and you roll back over on your stomach, that he gives you 2 team points. If he gets to count all the way up to 5, that's 3 back points. So.
All right. Well, that gives Cody
He's working
some
for
time to get in the lead with 4 points against his rival.
Yeah. Cody looking for that wing again. If he can just get that rest and circle in front, he should have the fall, or at least some back points.
Now, when one of the wrestlers have his opponent on his back, what is the ref looking for when he gets down there?
The ref's looking for both shoulder blades to be touching the mat flat at the same time. To some people out there who have never wrestled, it's actually pretty difficult to do that with the person fighting all their might to stay off their back. So.
And I can only imagine, because there are times where I know I've looked and it looked like kid was pinned, but the ref wasn't calling it. So obviously, his perspective. I mean, honestly, people in the crowd can't always see what the ref sees.
The ref's right there, close and personal. I mean, some people may question his call, but he's always the final decider. If he just steps over a little bit more, he'll start to acquire some back points.
And close call.
Now
I believe that was for potential getting.
Yeah,
potentially
dangerous. Yep.
Okay.
Potentially dangerous is basically self-explained. It's basically when you get in a move and it's pretty dangerous to your opponent. To
basically
where he can,
just keeping the refs keeping the kids from getting hurt.
Exactly. Wrestling's a tough sport, but there always has to be some rules here.
Rules and regulations are what make the sport a little bit safer and a little bit more enjoyment.
Exactly. But also, it sometimes makes it a little bit tougher, too.
Right. And we're running up on some short time in the second period.
Cody needs to stay off his back here and recover.
And no points are given out during that scramble. We are now moving into the third period of this weight class.
See, Wayne, once you get in a scramble, the key to it is keep your hips high. Now, that's opposed to everything else in the sport. You want your hips low and under you so you can drive. And scrambles, you want your hips high so that your opponent can't hop over top of you. You'll hear me say it many times tonight, keep your hips high, but that's why, so your opponent can't reverse you, or you can work for your reversal. Cody trying to stay out of the cradle here.
Lincoln looking like they're going for a cradle.
He needs to straighten his body. He needs to break the lock.
And Cody got the reversal.
Him onto his back. Uh-oh. Right here onto his back.
We are looking at a possible pin here.
Cody needs to squeeze. This is significant match right here. There we go.
And there we go.
Big win for the Vikings.
What a great way for Cody tonight. Now that moves up with the Vikings 21 and Lincoln 6. We will now be moving on to 119 with Brett Bassinelli.
Brett he's also a freshman this year. He's been wrestling ever since he was in elementary school. He was actually ranked at the beginning of the year. I believe it was number 4 in the state. And he's done well for us. He's wrestled probably 35 times and only lost 5 times. And all of his losses were to ranked kids also.
So he is a possible wrestler that could go to states?
Yeah, him among others on the team. I feel he can place this year. He keeps working his work ethic. His work ethic is great. Now you see him trying to circle out. He needs to pop his head out to get the takedown. There you go.
Lincoln not going to go and give it up that easy.
Bassinelli trying to switch to a power half here. Now, if you look at these lower weight matches, you can just see how they're constantly moving. they're never in one place on the mat as opposed to heavyweight or whatnot. They're always consistently moving their feet. That's why I say that they're always the best condition on the team. Bassinelli trying to work that power half again. Now Lincoln keeps grabbing that leg so that they can try to sink their hips out and get a reversal.
Now, exactly how many points do you get for a reversal?
A reversal is 2 points.
Okay.
You know, Bassinelli trying to work for some back points here.
Ref calling.
Potentially dangerous again. Bassinelli getting set to go on top again.
Caution green.
As you see the ref there, he made us see with his hand, which stands for caution. Now that's all that is he was warning him because he had like a false start. So they're going to reset again. You get up to 3 warnings until the ref gives a penalty point against you.
Coaches in the crowd really going against the ref on this one.
As we talked earlier, there's a lot of controversial calls between the refs and the crowd and the coaches,
And it all just goes on perspectives and different viewpoints.
Exactly. Like we have even a different perspective up here now.
Yeah, up here we got basically the crowd's view.
Bassinelli up 2-0 in tight match. Again, potentially dangerous.
And with that, we have a short time in the first period.
Now, coach just wondering what's going on down there.
All right. So let's go and talk about some injuries this year. I heard there has been a couple injuries that have cost the team some valuable players, and I've heard some where people were coming back from them.
Yeah, we actually had a freshman, Jacob Lasher. He injured his shoulder this year again. He had a lot of potential to do good this year. Hopefully he returns next year and he works out all summer, and he'll definitely be another good wrestler. Myself, I injured myself last year. I dislocated my shoulder, and among other things. But I've been out for 2 years now. I mean, it's been pretty tough. I'm trying to return back in possibly a week. So.
Well, I hope for the best for you there, buddy.
Thanks, Wayne.
No problem.
Bassinelli trying to get a reversal.
This is a huge pickle going on right here.
You see Bassinelli trying to work for a reversal here. Ref almost gives him 2.
Ref isn't calling it yet.
Bassinelli needs to just back out and get 1. You see Bassinelli holding on that elbow. That's a lot of control right there. And he gets an escape.
Control seems to be like the real key component that you want to be looking for in matches most of the time.
It is. It's always control and technique. I mean, people think it's about muscle, and people technique, as we say, technique beats. I don't even know.
Those who are like extremely
it
working
builds muscle,
out,
or
build muscle
it beats muscle. We'll say that.
And that, as people can notice now, when you look between these two competitors, you see Bassinelli looks fairly a little bit smaller than his competitor.
Bassinelli is a 112-pounder. We move him up to 119 because we don't have a 119. But we have a lot of confidence in him that he'll get the job done. He's beat many good kids at 119 this year, and I feel confident right now.
Right now they are tied up 3-3. Up.
And that reversal gives him another 2.
The reversal gave Bassinelli 2 more points, thus giving him the lead.
If I'm not mistaken, Lincoln here is, the Lincoln opponent is ranked. I don't know what ranking, but we've seen them in Michigan Grappler, which is the ranking system for high school.
And with 30 seconds left in the second period, it's looking like a very close match for Bassinelli tonight.
You see Bassinelli trying to hold on right here. He has a short time. He just needs to cling on, and he's going for a power half. You can just stretch him out a little bit more.
Now I just heard the crowd yell, watch the knees. What was that all about?
If you pull on, when someone has legs in, as Nino has right now, if you pull on his legs, it'll torque his knee, and you can really do some damage. The ref usually calls potentially dangerous if he sees it.
Okay.
But caution on Lincoln here. 6 seconds left in the match. In the second period, my bad.
We got another caution on red.
Bassinelli just trying to hold on.
Right now it's a very close.
There he goes.
And there ends the second period.
One more period here.
Third period, and Bassinelli right now chose neutral and is winning 5-3.
Bassinelli trying to work for a major here. He's only up by 2 points, which means he needs another 6 to acquire a major. That one extra team point is really a big deal in these matches. Bassinelli looking for a takedown. He just pop his head out. If he steps over that leg like he just did, pops his head out, he should get 2.
Yeah.
There we go, 2 points for Bassinelli.
Pardon me, I meant to say Lincoln. Lincoln's doing really good at not allowing Marysville to go and get that takedown very easily.
Bassinelli looking for a half again.
With just a minute left in the third period, we have Bassinelli in the lead, 7-3.
Bassinelli up by 4 points right here. He needs another 4 to get that major. And they reset.
Now, why did the ref blow the whistle then?
I'm pretty sure it was potentially dangerous again.
Okay.
The refs, some of them are called a little bit more than others. They just want to keep the kids safe.
Okay.
Bassinelli just cut
An escape
Lincoln.
for Lincoln there.
Now they do that because you just give your opponent 1 point, and then once you get the takedown, it's 2 points, which
So
puts
they're-
you up by another point. Coach is obviously confident enough that Bassinelli will get another takedown. There we go, another 2 points for Bassinelli.
Like you were saying, take down and let him up. Bassinelli now leads 9-4. And with 15 seconds left into the third period,
Just hold on a
we are
short 10
looking
seconds.
at a possible win for Bassinelli.
Bassinelli just trying to hold on for the remainder.
And that ends the third period. We'll be right back after this.
The programs and community announcements presented on the station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
Chase, one of the leading names in mortgages, is right in your own backyard. See Sandra Belichick, Dana, or call 364-7631 to learn more about the best rates around.
And welcome back. We are now starting off at weight class 125. Team scores right now are Marysville 24 and Lincoln 6.
Nick Dunlap up right now at 125. Now he's a pretty good wrestler on our team. He made it to states last year, and placed, I believe it was 7th.
I think it was 7th.
7th place?
It was either 7th or 8th.
Yeah,
Or even 6th. It could have been.
either way, that's pretty good for
Yeah.
a junior last year.
Yeah, as a junior, placing at states. Especially
Looking
in
for a takedown.
the 125 weight class.
And he wrestled 119 his freshman through junior year. That's what he went to states in last year. And he's going for the power half. As you see the ref counting away, he's acquiring his back points.
And it looks as if Nick is going to just get points in this matchup.
Yeah, if you sometimes run up the points on your opponent, he'll eventually what we call break mentally, and he'll just start to just kind of give up. If you keep running up that score, it's going to get in his head, and he's going to just eventually quit. So that's probably why Nick is running up the score.
1 point goes to red. Nick mounts top. Now, what are the coaches trying to say to Nick throughout this match right now?
Coaches are just remind him to stay in position, and then they're at the same time when Nick is on top, they're yelling how to adjust on top for the fall and whatnot. You can see Nick going for the power half right here. Now that power half, it's really brutal if you get put in it. I don't know if you have, but I surely have, and it's a tormenting move.
Those ones when I was wrestling, I didn't get hit in those much, but I mean it's a completely different weight class when you go.
You are a lucky one, my friend.
I can't say though that I didn't get hit in the splits. Now that was a little bit more painful.
Now that's another move that you'll possibly see later on this evening. Dunlaps on bottom.
And we continue on in the second period.
Dunlap needs to start moving a little bit more on bottom if he gets his knees under him.
Lincoln seemed pretty aggressive right there, slamming Nick on the ground.
Yeah, on top, it's just about punishing your opponent. So, I mean, that's exactly, as you can see, what Lincoln is trying to do. And
Nick reverse.
Dunlap straight to the back.
And it looks like he's going for the pin.
Looking for the fall.
With a minute and a half left, and he calls it.
Dunlap with the fall. Puts Marysville up 24 to.
It'd be Marysville Vikings 30 and Lincoln 6. Now let's wrap up with everything that happened Saturday. And anything else that you would like to say, like individually? How did our wrestlers do? Any go 5-0?
We had Austin Thompson and Nick Dunlap. Austin's our 130, 135 pounder, and Nick is who just wrestled last. He's our 125 pounder. They both went 5-0. Brett Bassinelli, he went 4-1. He had a tough loss against number 3 ranked opponent from Lance Cruz.
Right now we are at the 130 weight class with Evan King wrestling.
Austin Thompson, we switched it up.
Austin Thompson, pardon.
Coach sometimes switches the lineup around a little bit, basing on what the other team is throwing out there. Austin's new to our team this year. He just transferred from Northern. He placed at states the past 2 years at Northern. He's currently a junior. His goal this year is to work for that state title. That's his ultimate goal.
Wow. Do we have any other wrestlers that are also with that same goal?
Nick Dunlap, who just wrestled earlier, his goal is to do the same. He lost in the semifinals of states last year. He was 1 point away from going to the finals, so he really wants to get back there.
Yeah. Now tell me, how is it over when it's the states? It's got to be a completely different feeling than like a regular match like tonight.
Oh, definitely. The individual states, it's held at the Palace of Auburn Hills, where the Detroit Pistons play. it's just a different monster there. The crowd, they're crazy, and when you get there, you just feel so small. The stadium's just so huge, and you just everything just kind of gets
run through you.
Exactly.
I mean,
It depends on how you handle it. Some people get scared. Others, it amps them up, seeing all those people cheering for them and whatnot. So it all just depends on how you handle it. Austin was looking for a near fall.
Ref brings them back to the center.
6 seconds left in this first period.
Man, does time fly.
Yeah, no kidding. Austin he's just been taking it to him the whole first period.
Now, strategizing, now that we're moving into the second period, what would a wrestler want? Top, bottom? There's always those choices, and then there's also neutral.
Yeah, our coaches, they usually call defer when they get the choice in the second period. It's almost like, well, like in football, if you defer, then you get to choose the second half. Or in this case, you would get to choose the third period. We do that because depending on how the match is going to end up, you want bottom if you're down in the third period and you need that one escape point. So that's why coach usually decides that.
So say I was wrestling and I was losing by 1 point, and like say it's the second period starting up, I would want, and it were my choice, like it were deferred to me, I would want to choose, say, top then?
Exactly.
Okay.
Austin trying to work to get off bottom here. His opponent was formerly ranked number 5 in the state by Michigan Grappler.
Now, for the folks at home, if they wanted to take a look at this, what's the website?
MichiganGrappler.com. That's all your high school rankings and information for wrestling. It's strictly a wrestling website, and you can find out almost anything about Michigan high school wrestling on there.
So they only show like just the rankings currently. They don't show like statistics.
Yeah, they actually do show the ranked individuals. They show some of their statistics that stand out. Also for team, they have team rankings. As I mentioned earlier, Warren Lincoln was formerly ranked number 3 earlier in the season on Michigan Grappler. So that's another reason why this match tonight's so huge. If we can beat a former number 3 team,
that shows that we're up there.
Yeah, that should really boost our confidence to achieve our team goal of making it to Battle Creek, which those of you who don't know, Battle Creek is where the team states are held every year.
And quite frankly, it's been a while since Marysville's been to Battle Creek.
Actually, Marysville the Marysville team has never made it to Battle Creek.
Oh, really?
That's why it's such a big deal and important to us this year, is because we'd be the first team in history, Marysville history, to ever do that.
This is a very close match going on right now for Austin, coming into the third period.
Austin's opponent, I believe his last name is Karcher. He's pretty big for his weight class as well as Austin, so this is definitely a good match. Both of them ranked and whatnot. Austin is trying to get escape here.
Lincoln doing a good job at containing him, keeping him from getting an escape point.
Every wrestler, they have like sort of a weak point, and as you are watching, you can see Austin. He has kind of a trouble getting off bottom, but I mean, as soon as you put him on top, he is just a bear. You cannot get him off. Him and his neutral game. There's actually
Austin going for a reverse. Now in a scramble. 2 points given to Austin.
He just trying to stall out, maybe what the ref calls stalemate.
Now the point of stalemate's just to go and break it up and restart?
Yeah, stalemate is just basically when there's nothing happening and the ref is obvious. He obviously knows that nothing's going to happen, so he just calls that to reset. When you see him put his two fists together.
Now, in a couple weeks, you guys have the individual districts going on.
Yes, we do. First, we have the individual MAC White Conference. That's what we consider going into the postseason. Followed that, like you just said, was team districts, which in our district we have Croswell, Lexington, and we also have St. Clair. St. Clair,
yep,
yep.
St. Clair. And I believe, isn't North Branch in there as well?
No, they were in our district last year.
Okay.
But MHSA has reset all the districts this year, which they do that every 2 years just to jumble it
And
up.
I do believe it's held here at the high school. It's going to be held here, team districts?
I do believe if everything goes well, we should have team districts here in Marysville Gymnasium. It's been a while since we've done that.
Well, it would be nice then to see, hopefully a lot of folks are going to be there.
Yeah. So all of you viewers listening, when team districts, you guys should come on down.
And a nice victory for Thompson there. And with that, we would like to thank another M6 sponsor.
The programs and community announcements presented on the station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
The Marysville Knights of Columbus has the perfect location for many occasions. With their friendly and knowledgeable staff and both small and large halls available for rental, you'll be sure to find what you need. Call 364-6800 today to make your reservations.
And welcome back. And again, we couldn't thank our sponsors enough for all they've done. Without them, we couldn't have possibly done this tonight. We are currently halfway through the wrestling meet tonight. Marysville Vikings versus Lincoln Abes. Right now, currently, team scores Marysville Vikings 33 and Lincoln Abes 6.
Tonight, the team looks like they're just firing on all cylinders so far. I mean, you've seen
Both teams seem to not give up.
Exactly. We've really held down what I've called the bonus points, and currently we're at 135. So
with Evan King.
Yeah, Evan King and Austin, who just wrestled the last match, they often flip-flop in between 130 and 135, depending on, like I said earlier, where coach strategically puts them in.
Now, speaking of strategizing, what is coach going to be looking forward to, or what should the team be looking towards for these last couple matches?
Like I said earlier, they just can't give up bonus points. If they stick to those 3 and 4 point losses, which hopefully we do win some more matches, if we just stick to those 3 and 4 point losses, it'll really help the team pull out.
Evan right now controlling on top. Looks as if, though, he's looking for the splits, like I mentioned earlier tonight. Now, Tyler, which weight classes do you think are technically the strongest group of the Marysville Vikings? So lightweights, middleweights, heavyweights?
I feel that our lightweights actually are. Like I said, we have Nick Dunlap and Austin Thompson and Evan King, who is wrestling right now. They're all excellent athletes. Also, you have Brett Bassinelli, who is also ranked, and both Kyle and Cody French. They're all excellent wrestlers, so I feel our lightweights definitely are the strong point of our team. Evan King trying to dig for a wrist.
And I noticed, like, you have a very young, heavier weight class, so I can only imagine it's going to be a little bit tougher, almost working back at square one.
Yeah.
End of the first period, now beginning the second. Marysville Vikings leading with 2. And as I said earlier about Northern and Roseville being here. This is a quad meet, and earlier tonight, Roseville lost to the Marysville Vikings.
Marysville faced both Northern and Roseville. They faced Northern earlier on this season and defeated them. I believe it was 70-6. No, 70-9. I'm sorry. Only giving up one loss and then avoiding one weight class.
And it seemed as though that Northern was didn't have very many players on their team.
No, they're a short team, which Austin, who wrestles for us, he just transferred from Northern, so he's it was kind of weird for him to wrestle his own team or his home team.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but
Evan just got another takedown there. Evan now leading 5-2.
if Evan
And
wins
with
this
them
match,
running out of the circle, they now must bring it back in.
if Evan wins this match, he should seal up the team score.
And with the trouble with the individual scores going on right now, they are trying to correct it. Now, what is Coach trying to go and do right now? I see him, he's coming up towards the table.
Coach is just trying to make sure that the score is right. Sometimes scoreboard keepers or whatnot, they sometimes mess up, just like everyone makes mistakes. Coaches are just making sure that the score is right, and then if it's not, they'll adjust it.
Do you think the off-season preparation is now showing?
Oh, definitely. You can see all the individuals who showed up to off-season camps. We went up to the UP and trained. We went all the way down to Ohio and trained. It's just it helps the team a lot. So
Crowd enthusiasm going pretty good over here.
yeah, crowd enthusiasm. It's a big deal in momentum.
A lot of times, yeah, that's the difference. That's the big deal maker right there on who's going to win.
If you're feeling winded down in third period, and if you hear that crowd going wild, that just fuels you to go that extra 30 seconds and hold on or score.
Because it could be those 30 seconds make up the make it or break for it.
Exactly. The crowd's a big deal, just like I was talking earlier at the Palace. When you see all the huge crowd just roaring and whatnot, it really fuels you, which it can work the other way too for the opponent. It can also make them back down and kind of scare them. So.
And now this is a close matchup in this weight class. Going into the third period, Evan has the lead right now with just by 1 point. Caution goes on Lincoln as they begin to set up.
Another caution on
calls
Lincoln.
Another caution.
Now cautions can also, even though I said earlier that they are for false starts, they're also for how you mount on top. Now if you don't have your hand all the way across their stomach or whatnot, the ref will also caution you. So just small things like that are a big deal in matches.
Lincoln doing a good job keeping Marysville Vikings down.
Evan King trying to work for escape here. If he gets his hips under him and knee slides out, he can get that escape. You see Lincoln right now, they're holding Evan's wrist. Now wrist control, it's a big factor in wrestling. Now when
Evan gets the reversal.
Now you being a veteran wrestler, or alumni, I'll say now, since you're graduated, you know a lot about wrist control.
Oh yes, wrist control is a major factor. And I would like to bring up though that also, I do also remember seeing what I see right now. The teams that are losing, you can definitely see the whole enthusiasm factor drop. Lincoln, all the guys are sitting, whereas I see the Vikings, they're all standing, they're cheering, and that has to go and be a definite game changer.
Oh, definitely.
In everybody's mood.
Wrestling is more than just physical. It's 50% mental game. If it's in your head that you're gonna lose, you most likely are. So if you can just keep your confidence up, you should be able to win your match or at least do good.
And being that do remember being in some of these tight matches, when it gets close, it definitely helps if the team's cheering you on.
Definitely.
It's almost like a kick in the rear to go and tell you, hey, get moving. You got some short time. Because right now, Evan's got 15 seconds left in the third period, and he's only leading by 2 points.
Tight match right here. 5 seconds left if Evan can just hold on.
Lincoln's holding on. Evan's holding on.
And Evan King with
that's
the win.
The end of the third. Nice win for Evan. And again, we would like to go and thank another M6 sponsor. We'll be right back after this.
The programs and community announcements presented on the station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
The Marysville Lions Club has been serving the Marysville community since 1941. Programs for the visually challenged, school projects for our youth, and community enhancement projects are just a few of the activities Lions members experience. To become more involved, call 329-9723 or visit www.marysvillelions.org.
And welcome back, folks. Team score right now is Marysville 36 and Lincoln 6. Now, again, couldn't thank our sponsors enough. Without them, we couldn't have held this event tonight. So again, thank you, sponsors.
Agreed, Wayne. Thank you much to our sponsors. Now at 140, Marysville, they should be taking a void. That's usually where I wrestle, which I'm up here in the studio with you guys.
I know it's got to be kind of a killer.
Oh, definitely.
Now, I see a lot of respect going on between everybody, all the wrestlers. Not a lot of grudge matches after a loss.
No, wrestlers, they're pretty self-contained. I mean, because if you act online, coach will make you pay for it. Wrestling, it's one of the toughest sports out there. So
now wrestling at 145, Tommy Ryan. Tommy is a sophomore, I believe, this year, correct?
I believe, yes, so.
And for sophomore being on the varsity team, must be very happy for him and make his parents proud, in which the parent involvement, that's going to be a huge thing. I mean, I see his parents tonight cheering him on, and that just brings me back to how all our parents, I mean, not a lot of people know how much effort is put in with wrestling. I mean, it's not just, oh, kid goes out and does wrestling. It's the entire family does wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, parent involvement, it's a big deal. I mean, you have to dedicate a lot of your time because you're gone every weekend for individual tournaments. The parents, they also bring in food and whatnot for the weekend tournaments. Parents they're 50% of the deal. Because, I mean, if they didn't take you to the tournaments, you wouldn't be able to wrestle. So, I mean.
Exactly. So, thank all the parents out there. They're the crowd that we have tonight. They are what keep our wrestlers in mind, or in neutral mind, I should say. Tommy right now doing a pretty good job, leading by 2 points.
Tom Ryan getting started on top. A little pause there.
Tommy doing a good job at keeping Lincoln down.
You see Tom reach across that waist. Now he's going for what we call a tight waist. If you get that hand deep enough and pull your arm across, it really takes the breath out of you. I mean, I got to experience firsthand in a match.
And that before. I can agree with you on that one. I've had my fair share of people squeezing me, and it's not fun.
Oh, no. Now, that tight waist, no matter how conditioned you are, if someone just squeezing your stomach and whatnot, you're not able to breathe.
It's not going to feel comfortable one bit.
And it's going to wear you out, and eventually you're going to break. So,
short time left in the first period. Tommy just needs to hold on right now.
End of the first period, and Tom Ryan is up by 2.
And now, team scores Vikings 36 and Lincoln 12. Now, let's talk about the coaches for a little bit. Lincoln's coaches, they're doing a pretty good job keeping their team all in line and in good shape. Now, the Viking coaches, Coach Meyer and Rocky Palazzolo, they both have interesting backgrounds, I must say. Can you go and talk about them a little bit for me, Tyler?
Coach Meyer, our head coach, he's from the Marines, so I mean he really trains us tough. Now, Coach Palazzolo, he wrestled in college at Eastern Michigan. He's kind of a local. He wrestled down in Chippewa Valley in high school. He's 4 times state placer, I believe, or actually 3 times. Excuse me.
3 times, yeah.
And in college, he went everywhere to train. He even went to Russia, so he has a bunch of different technique and just different ways to work out. He really gives us a good sense on what to do, and he really knows what he's talking about.
So Vikings possibly have the upper hand with the different variations or variety of moves.
Oh, definitely. If you'll see a couple moves this evening that like even I won't know, that Coach Palazzolo, he'll show you during practice. So.
And I know there's also a couple moves that he'll just throw out there in the middle of a match, because I know he'll probably do that with my brother, who will be wrestling up next tonight, because I saw that when he was wrestling Northern.
Yeah, Rocco Height. I mean, he's a tough height. I mean, he's your little brother, so you got to beat up on him when he was little. But
yeah, now I can't say that too much.
Yeah, he's almost bigger than you.
Almost.
Yeah.
I'm the bigger brother though, so I get to say.
But I mean, it really shows that the tough background he comes from. He wrestled #1, as I pointed out earlier. He wrestled #1 in the state, and he went all 6 minutes with him. Now that's not easy to do at all.
Yeah, and a lot of people might have seen this through their children or even through when their siblings and everything. Usually it's the younger kids always have the higher advantage or the better advantage than the oldest. Because I know I'm seeing the couple matches that I've seen this year with my brother. He has done far more or much better than myself.
Exactly. Like I was talking about earlier, that tougher background. I mean, you got to pick on him like for your half in the house. Now it's his turn to take it out on someone else. So he has that mental toughness, as I talked earlier, to, like I said, just push other people.
Just push harder and push people around. Tommy doing a good job with a few seconds left in the second period.
Up 4-0 in a tight match. You can just hold on. And we go to the third period.
Now in this third period, what would Tommy want to be looking forward to trying to do at least, or to attempt to either stop or attempt?
All right, now Coach just picked for Tommy to go on top. What Coach is looking for is maybe tilts, which a tilt, for those of you who don't know, a tilt is just getting back points like we talked earlier. It's a move just designed to get back points, not necessarily a pin. But once you can chain a lot of those together and just rack up points against your opponent. So tilts are really a big deal in wrestling. You see Tom trying to put that wrist on the back. That really disables your opponent, taking away his arm.
Yeah, taking away one arm makes it a lot harder. That was one move that I always tried when I wrestled out there. I always tried taking out at least one of the guy's arms, so that way that's one that he can't use to help him out.
Yeah, very effective move. Like we always say in the practice room, a person's base is almost like a table. The more legs you take out, the easier it is to push it down. All right, so you see Tom Ryan going for the tilt here.
Yeah.
If he just arches a little bit more, you see the ref start counting.
Unfortunately, 2 points given to him. I thought he wasn't going to get any there, but
Tom
ref was just waiting.
Tom needs 2 more for that major. If Tom holds his grip just a little bit tighter.
3 points.
3 more points. So that should put him up 9-0, which is the major currently.
Now Tommy, all he has to do is keep the guy from giving up points at least. Right?
Exactly, yep. I mean, he has 1 point to spare, but you don't want to spare any points just to be safe.
Yeah, you always want to be going after trying to get points.
Yeah, if you start to get in a scramble at this point, you're going to want to just push the guy away and give him escape, which is 1 point rather than the reversal of 2. Because if he gets that reversal, it's going to go right back to a minor. And that one extra team point is such a big difference, as I talked earlier, with bonus points.
And with 15 seconds left in the third period, looks as though Tommy might have this sealed.
Tommy just hold on for 9 more seconds for the major.
Tommy looking to see if he could get any more points out of Lincoln. Lincoln doing a good job. And nice win for Tommy.
And if I believe that seals the deal tonight.
We would like to go and take a break and thank another one of our M6 sponsors.
The programs and community announcements presented on the station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
Red Mud Studio, featuring functional, raku, and pit-fired pottery. Contact Deborah Maxwell for individual or group classes and special gifts at 367-7001 or stop by the studio at 640 Richmond Road, Kimball.
And welcome back, folks, to the Marysville Viking wrestling team matchup. Right now, the Vikings are winning currently 40 and Lincoln having 12. We are going to be at weight class 152. Marysville Vikings have Rocco Height.
Your little brother out there,
My little brother out there, yes, my little brother. Time to go and see how he's going to do. I know typically, automatically, I'm going to see possibly a lot of tilts coming out of him.
Yeah, Rocco, he likes tilts. Now, like I was talking earlier with weaknesses, his leg defense, it kind of is weak. But, I mean,
He's a little bit taller, too. So, that kind of makes it a disadvantage.
Long legs in wrestling, it makes it hard for you to defend and whatnot. But, I mean, once he gets on top, he's just, like I said earlier, he is just unbearable.
Lincoln pulling out a tilt on Rocco.
If he can just arch, break the grip,
and
then he can turn down.
Folks teasing Rocco out there a little bit.
There's some of that brotherly toughness out there. Try to get out.
Yeah, we'll see how what Rocco's going to.
Disappointing loss for
Rocco.
Rocco.
Disappointment loss for Rocco, but he will bounce back.
Oh, definitely.
And do much better the next time.
That was a tough match. That Lincoln opponent there, he is ranked also. So Rocco will definitely be able to bounce back to the conference, actually.
And now the team score, Vikings 40 and the Lincoln Abes 18. And with that, let's go and take a quick break and thank our M6 sponsors. We'll be right back after this.
The programs and community announcements presented on the station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
The Marysville Rotary Club supports projects both locally and across the globe. The club meets every Tuesday at Alexander's Premier Banquet Facility at 12:05 p.m. The Marysville Rotary Club, promoting service above self.
Welcome back, folks, to the Marysville Vikings wrestling match. We just got done with 152 matchup. Rocco Height had a loss, and the team score currently Vikings 40 and the Lincoln 18. We are at weight class 160 with, it appears, Thomas Woolman.
Tom, he's a sophomore, so he has a little bit less experience, but he
makes that up with the aggression.
Yeah,
he is a go-getter.
He's a fighter there. I mean, wrestling, like I said, how it's 50% metal, and on top of that, the 25%, it's your aggression, your just ability just to keep going. So conditioning also plays in that. This kid just has a gas tank that just goes forever. He never wears down.
And tank down for for Lincoln, pardon me. Lincoln chose neutral. So now Lincoln's winning 2-1. And it looks like Lincoln's going for that blast double.
Now if Woolman can just, what we call wizard down, you see he has his arm locked. He gave up the takedown, but you see
Takedown and let him up. I think this is going to be one of those matches where the guy's going to go and take him down, let him up, take him down, and try to just get points out of him.
Yeah, and he could possibly be going for a tech, or like I talked earlier, he's probably trying to break him mentally.
In which it's not always that easy to mentally break somebody who's really aggressive.
Oh, true.
And I know when Woolman loses, he takes it personal, and he does make it up for the next matchup.
He definitely bounces back and fights hard. As you see him just fight hard right off his back.
You see him, he just got out of that predicament of possibly getting pinned.
If he can just unhook his ankle there and knee slide out.
Short time in the first period.
Woolman down 2-9, which that's still a minor, but he has to start scoring or not give up any other points for that major.
And that would be some good information for him going into the second period.
Marysville already has it sealed up with only 2 matches left. Well, with this one, 2 matches.
This is more personal. This is all personal matches right here.
It all comes down to pride right here. If I'm not mistaken, Lincoln's opponent is ranked also. They have many ranked kids on their team.
Yeah, I begin to start noticing that. They have a lot of good wrestlers out there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it shows that even Marysville can compete with the big boys then.
Yeah, we've been definitely stepping it up the past few years. Like I said, with the off-season training and then just going even harder. So.
And
tough break for Tom Woolman.
Tough break right there. Yeah, that is a win for Lincoln. And with that, we will go on another break and thank another one of our M6 sponsors.
The programs and community announcements presented on the station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
The Marysville American Legion Post 449, located at 299 Huron Boulevard in Marysville. Hall rentals are available for any occasion, and bingo is played every Tuesday evening. Stop by and thank a veteran today.
And welcome back, folks, to the Marysville Vikings wrestling meet. Currently, Vikings 40 and Lincoln with 24. We are at the 171 weight class with Matt Tushek. Wrestling for the Vikings.
Matt's a junior this year. He just came in from Dakota. He was on their B team and whatnot. The kid ahead of him was like ranked number 2 or something crazy like that. But Matt, he's had plenty of starting time over here at Marysville, and he's been adjusting well to it. He's kind of a different wrestler. He doesn't wrestle like all the rest of the people on our team. He has that background from Dakota and whatnot. But
right. Okay.
He's a very solid wrestler.
Very solid, and I believe he's related to Coach Meyer, correct?
Yeah, he's Coach Meyer's nephew. But some people say it's an advantage. But really, when you know wrestling, it's actually a disadvantage because they just keep you on the wrestling schedule 24/7. Which it's not a disadvantage; it just makes you work that much harder.
Yeah, it makes you that much better of a wrestler.
Exactly.
And it shows right now, Matt doing a good job controlling his opponent. His opponent's starting to get a little bit tentative out there.
You see Matt circling side to side trying to get some angles. Now in wrestling, a lot of it has to do with angles also. Angles help you get takedown rather than if you were just to shoot in straight on.
And Lincoln gets the takedown. Now Matt has to fight from bottom and get his way back up. Lincoln, though, doing a good job at keeping him down.
You see Lincoln working the legs in right there. Matt's trying to swim his legs to keep him out.
Because essentially when somebody gets legs in, you're kind of SOL there. Right?
Yeah, they're tough to get out of, and you can do some pretty brutal moves. You see Lincoln going for
it's
a tilt.
definitely one of those more higher technique,
Oh, definitely.
higher level athletes.
Yeah, you can't just go straight into it. You have to be somewhat athletic to do it, and then also you have to have a lot of background.
And you have to be mainly technical.
Yeah,
with
definitely. It's not for everyone, but if it is for you, you can really do some damage.
And that has been showing in this first period here.
Yeah.
As we now move into the second period.
Tuchek down 0-2. Marysville chooses down. Matt going to try to get a escape point right here. False start on Lincoln.
Lincoln believing that that wasn't a possible caution. A lot of confusion going on between the wrestlers and the ref.
Lincoln just chooses neutral. Gives Tuchek the 1 point automatically. You hear the coach telling his player to be more aggressive out there.
Seems as though both teams aren't as enthusiastic in this matchup right now.
No, Lincoln over there knowing they're defeated. And Marysville, you see them standing up now, but they know they sealed it up. I mean, they've accomplished their goal, and they're excited.
I think I kind of motivated them to stand up, being that I just said.
Playing mind tricks, man.
Yeah.
Tuchek getting a little tripped up there.
He almost got out, but Lincoln kept him.
Lincoln lets him right back up.
I think Lincoln's now just saying he doesn't want to deal with the ref anymore. So instead of having to deal with all those troubles, he's just going to go ahead, let him get the free point, and he'll just take him down again. I think that's what he's trying to
Lincoln
get
up
at.
2-4 right now.
And with a
Tuchek
minute
trying
left
to go
in the
for the
second
headlock.
period.
He tries to snap it down a little bit. See, trick the headlock. You have to snap your opponent all the way down to the mat so that you can spin behind. If you don't do that, then it's not going to work 90% of the time.
Tuchek looking pretty good right now.
Working that front headlock again. You see him trying to go for an ankle pick.
Now right there, I kind of have to agree with the crowd. He should have went after.
Yeah. If the ref doesn't blow the whistle, you still go all the way.
Yeah, I mean.
If you would have attacked there, you could have possibly got the 2 to tie it up.
Yeah, he could have had another takedown, tied it up, could have made breaking down the opponent mentally.
See Tuchek trying to reset.
And I know that will definitely affect Tuchek within the rest of the match.
Yeah. Most of his game is in neutral. Now Lincoln here, they're also very good in neutral, as you can see. So it's kind of whoever can get the most takedowns here.
All right, now going into the third period,
Lincoln
Tuchek needs a takedown to at least tie it up and have a possible overtime.
Lincoln chooses down. False start on Marysville. Or caution, I'll say. Lincoln stands straight up.
Lincoln gets a reversal.
Tuchek having a tough match here.
But with only a minute 45 seconds left in the period, a lot can still happen.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I know that this is just a pride match for the wrestlers, but to the coaches, getting every point to beat your opponent as much as possible. That's what matters. I mean, there's no mercy here.
I mean, to the coaches, that definitely would make them feel better. That would definitely also tell other teams, hey, better watch out for
definitely.
us.
You see Marysville is just sealing it up against formerly ranked number 3. Now, Tuchek trying to get the takedown. 1 minute left in the third. Tuchek down 3 to 6, sorry.
And for those of you just joining us, this is the Marysville Viking wrestling meet, wrestling against Warren Lincoln. And currently Vikings are winning 40-24. And this is the last match of the night at 171 with Matt Tuchek. And Tyler, I know we talked about this earlier, being that Lincoln was originally ranked number 3
Yes.
in the rankings.
Yeah.
That, and also if Marysville Vikings won this match tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a big confidence booster.
Definite confidence booster, but that also determines if they could possibly have a tie for first with Lanphier.
If Lanphier loses one match, I believe, then we'll tie for first for the MAC White Conference, which this is our second year ever in the MAC White, so it would be a first in Marysville history to do it.
All right, and with that loss for Matt, he's going to shake it off and continue on, and we'll go and take a quick break before the end of this.
The programs and community announcements presented on the station are brought to you in part by a grant from the following M6 Communication Arts sponsors.
Blue Water Volleygrass Festival, a fun family atmosphere for all ages. A summer tradition in the Blue Water area for volleyball stars, fans, and friends. We look forward to seeing you at the Marysville Park.
All right, great job for the fellow Vikings tonight with 2 wins against Roseville and Lincoln. Now I would like to thank the crew members of the M6 broadcast tonight, and I would also like to thank Tyler Blankenship for joining me tonight today.
No
Thank
problem,
you.
Wayne. No, thank you for having me.
All right. Now, good luck for the Vikings in their other matchups later on this season. And join us again next time on M6, your hometown station.